Welcome, everyone, to What to Watch Live, the show where we discuss the best in TV and entertainment this week. My name is David, and today I am joined by my fellow Xfinity editors, Audrey, and who is that? Is that
Look.
Kwam?
The new look
I
Kwam.
It's Kwam 2.0. He's leveled up.
I'm still the same, guys, y'all. I'm still the same old Kwam. Just a new look. It's going to be a new year soon, and yeah, I'm ready for a change. Ready for something different. It feels weird looking at myself in this window because I'm just like,
I know.
like, who is this guy? But it's still
I know.
Well, thank you, new Kwam, for joining us, and thank you everyone out there for joining us across Xfinity platforms or on the 24/7 What to Watch channel on Zumo. We're so happy you're here with us. And on today's show, we've got another banger for you. We'll reveal the ultimate mixtape of our favorite albums, songs, and artists of all time. Audrey gives us the scoop on an upcoming event, specially for Xfinity Rewards members. We'll dip our toe into Halloween with entertainment that is seasonal and spooky. We'll get a sneak peek at Audrey's interview with the cast of Hulu's Reboot. And as always, we'll help you organize your TV watch list for the week ahead. So, without further ado, let's kick things off by dusting off the old boombox and cranking up the volume for a new edition of Ultimate Deep Dive. If you are a fan of What to Watch Live, you know that the Xfinity editors are pretty obsessed with TV and movies, but we're also really big fans of music, and our very own Xfinity music editor, Kwam, has put together an immersive experience that showcases our eclectic tastes in tunage. Kwam, tell us about the Mixfinity tape.
So thank you, David. But first, I want to start with an anecdote. So when I was younger, I used to love creating mixtapes, or like burn CDs. I wasn't that old, or I'm not that old where I actually created a mixtape. But I would burn a lot of CDs, and I would usually create them for myself for just to create a specific vibe. But I used to think that creating a mixtape used to say a lot about you, like how you structured it, what songs you chose, and the overall purpose of the mixtape would just reveal so much about you. And so, fast forwarding, as you mentioned, as editors, we usually showcase our personalities through like what we're watching, movies we like, TV shows that we can't get enough of. But it got me thinking, why don't we showcase our personalities through music? And so, boom, here we have it, the Mixfinity tape. And so, in this collection, you could really get to know us just through music, and you get to see all our individual tastes. You get to see some of our best picks of the year and see us hang out with other music stars and discover more music across Xfinity. And so for me personally, my taste in music is just so wide and varied that it was really hard for me to really kind of like dwindle down my personal taste and what I listen to into like a small collection. But you get to see what I listen to when I want to work out, when I want to go for a drive. My driving playlists are Chef Kiss. You get to see some of my favorite album, Kanye's, Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Excellent album. I know Kanye is going crazy right now, but Kanye is going to be Kanye. But I really love this collection because it really gets to show our personalities and who we are and what we like in our interests just through music. And so some of the things that I really wanted to point out that I thought were really interesting, at least for myself, will be right here on the screen in just a single moment. Um, yes, so I want to first talk about my favorite artist, Kendrick Lamar. So I get asked this question all the time of who's my favorite artist, and I usually say that question is too hard for me to answer. There's too many choices. What genre are we talking about? And it really took a lot of introspection for me to really come to grips with that Kendrick Lamar is my favorite artist of all time. And let me tell you why. Let me fanboy for the next 30 to 40 seconds because I'm about to go off. Okay, so Kendrick is him. No, he just makes so much. So he makes great music, and it's music that touches the soul. It's music that has a purpose. It's educational. There's like so much you can get out of Kendrick Lamar's music. he does make songs just for clubs or just for like casual listening. But his best music and his best songs are really the songs that make you think, that have a lot of reflection involved, or is talking to a larger issue, or to a more, I guess, grandiose societal thing that's going on in the cultural zeitgeist. And you don't really get that from too many artists, and you don't get it done as well as Kendrick does it. Obviously you see artists who make statements with their music, but Kendrick is able to do it in a way where it's just amazing. It's amazing, and I can't describe it any other way. I'm just saying it's amazing, and it sounds great to your ears. My eardrums, when he's in my head, my headphones, I'm just like on cloud 9. I don't know why. It's just him. He is him. He's built different. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. A lot more. I might say a lot more. Should I say more? I don't know. But let me just wrap this up, because I'm talking about Kendrick way too much. I could talk about him a lot more, but he is him. His music is amazing. It's everything I want in music wrapped into one man, and I love him. And that's all I have to say about Kendrick Lamar. Going on to my go-to podcast. So if you cannot tell, I am a huge music nerd. I love breaking down music, and not just like listening to like what instruments were used, or the purpose behind this song. No, I want to go deeper into the music, and Dissect on Spotify is like the perfect podcast for that. It breaks down music, by like the purpose of the song, meaning of the lyrics, and it gets even deeper into that, where I love before like its breakdown on hip hop. And going back to Kendrick Lamar, they have this great section of breaking down a Kendrick verse, and it's so just mind-boggling. Amazing. I'm like, first of all, who did the research on this, and how did you come up with this? Because I don't even think Kendrick Lamar knew what he was doing when he wrote that verse, but somehow you guys put all this together and present it in such a way where it's like, wow, I feel smart. I feel better than the next person, because I know what went into making this verse. And the sect is just great for just breaking down music, telling those stories behind songs. Audrey, she just was talking about the story behind this old song that no one really cares about anymore.
Wait.
90s.
First of all, it's from the 90s. Everyone except Quam knows it. It's called The Way by Fastball.
Yeah.
Look it up. The story behind it is crazy.
It is.
If you're into those old songs, those old tunes, yes, the ways or whatever. But I'm sure that song is on the sect, and they probably are breaking down how crazy the story is that the song is based off of. And it has just all that kind of stuff and more. So check out this sect if you are a music nerd like myself. And lastly, my guilty pleasure song. And it really, oh gosh, I had to do some deep reflecting on this. Baby by Justin Bieber is a bop. It is his best song of his entire discography. And I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. I don't think that's a hot take. Because if we really look at Baby, it is a song that we all can relate to. It's about a guy, but it can be anybody, who is vying for the love of someone else. And he's doing everything for her. He's singing, dancing. He brought Drake to the bowling alley. I didn't even know that. I had to rewatch the music video. Is that Drake in a bowling alley back in 2010? Oh my God. He's doing everything to show this girl that he loves her. And what does she do? She turns him away. And now he's saying, baby, baby, baby. It's a painful song. We all can relate to it. If you ever been through heartbreak, you understand this song. But at the end of the day, he realizes that, hey, I'm the Bieber. I'm Justin Biebs. I don't need you. Bye. And that was like just a revelation for me. Because I'm like, you know what? Never devalue yourself. Always realize you are the prize. And Baby is that song. Oh, I love Baby. It's such a great song. What a great message. And Justin Bieber is at his peak at his youngest age of what? 12 when he made that song. And he got a feature from Ludacris, the hip hop legend. What? Okay. Baby cannot be beat by anything Justin Bieber has ever done, ever. I'm sorry. I like Justin Bieber. But Baby, certified classic. And that's all. That's all I have for my deep dive. Audrey, what are you into?
Right, first of all,
I know.
the fact that I have to follow the excitement that was just put on display for us is a real challenge to live up to.
I
I'm
also
sure you
really
do.
want some. I want a T-shirt that says he brought Drake to a bowling alley. I want that shirt. I want that shirt.
Should we make some Want to Watch Live merch and start selling it with quotes?
I mean, we already have Scott's I Charter Yachts shirt.
We do.
He brought
right.
Drake to a
Well,
bowling alley
that
shirt
makes
coming
two shirts.
soon.
Stay tuned, everyone. So sure, I'm happy to talk about some really old music from the 90s. So if we go to my slide, so again, this was also really hard. Favorite anything is a challenge at all times. And I did pick another album at first, and then driving in my car, I heard a song from Nirvana's MTV Unplugged in New York and was like, holy crap, no, that's like the best album of all time for me anyway. So I asked Kwame if I could change it. The thing that, I just am a huge Nirvana fan anyway, but this album in particular, just the live factor of it and how emotional it is and like gritty and just obviously grungy because it's Nirvana, is just my favorite thing ever. And I don't know, Kwame, have you heard of Nirvana, this band from the 90s?
That's one of my favorite old bands. I love Nirvana. When I was watching the new Batman movie and they were playing that theme, I was like, oh, they're gonna just ruin this for everybody because now it's gonna be TikTok to death, and it was.
Was it?
It was. Something's in the way. Yeah, that's something.
Yeah.
That song. Yeah. It got
Something's in the Way.
TikToks.
It's a great track.
Yeah, awesome track.
But yes, amazing album in general. Favorite artist, Fiona Apple. Everyone thinks she's like, like so sad. She's really just a musical genius. Like maybe one of the best piano players of all time. Her parents met on Broadway. She comes from like a very musical family. Her sister's a cabaret singer. From her first album, Tidal, which I think was in 1996, was my favorite album. Like, stopped me dead in my tracks. I listened to it nonstop on repeat in my Discman until it practically like just skipped every song because I wore out the CD. And I just love everything that she does. I think she's a musical genius. Completely, I say she's underrated, even though she has won like many awards and is on like many lists for being the talent that she is. And guilty pleasure song, I didn't have to think about this. I don't know why this popped into my head so easily. I feel like people don't like this song, The Hook by Blues Traveler. I freaking love it. And I think it all boils down to harmonica, because harmonica might be my most favorite musical instrument of all time. Like Tom Petty, Bob Dylan. I really just enjoy a harmonica. So those are my picks. And I'm also now realizing that all of these albums are from the 90s. Which is old, but I think that was just the favorite time of my life. Like 7th grade was really like my sweet spot. So I think I just really cling to things from that era.
Your teenage dirtbag years.
I don't want to ever let go of them. I still feel like I am a teenage dirtbag, but clearly not a teen. The other crazy thing I just want to mention, because I looked up the video for The Hook because I haven't seen it in a very long time. It is over 37 million views on YouTube. 37 million. That's like pretty crazy.
I like that song better than the other Blues Traveler song, honestly.
Okay.
The hook is better than, what's their other one? I can't stop thinking of The Hook now.
I don't know, because The Hook is amazing. And actually,
can y'all sing The Hook for me to know if I can know if I know it?
No.
My voice does not work that way.
Run Around, Blues Traveler.
I don't hate that, actually.
It's fine, but The Hook is better.
Yeah, John
And
Popper.
The Criminal, Fiona Apple's Criminal, I know it's like her biggest hit or whatever, and I don't have like any knowledge of any other Fiona Apple song, but Criminal is still holds up. One of the best songs ever.
All of her songs are the best songs ever, and I will give you all of the CDs to listen to. I will make you a Fiona Apple mixtape, a Xfinity tape. She's just a delight. Every time I've seen her in concert, I've cried. I've seen her in concert more than any human on the planet. But So that's mine. David, what about you?
Yeah, so we'll kick things off with the band I've seen more times in concert than any other band, and that is Paramore. And they're my favorite band, and my favorite album of all time is Riot by Paramore. And if you're not familiar with the band, it consists of vocalist Hayley Williams, Zach Farrow, and Taylor York. And the band's lineup, aside from Hayley, has changed quite a bit over the years, but their sophomore album, Riot, and the hit single Misery Business is what put them on the map. They no longer sing Misery Business in concert, which is such a bummer, but they've evolved as artists and blah, blah, blah. They don't sing it anymore. It's got some problem. It also has some problematic lyrics, and I totally get that. But for me, it's an absolute no-skip album. I love pop punk vibe, and Riot is full of those endlessly catchy tracks and hooks. I'm equally enthusiastic about their third album, Brand New Eyes, and less enthusiastic about their 2013 self-titled album and 2017's After Laughter, but that's just my personal taste. Paramore recently teased some new music and have a 19-date fall tour kicking off this weekend, so maybe we'll get a new album soon, but that is another album, or Riot is an album that it's so funny when you said wore out, Audrey, because I was going to use the phrase wore out too. People don't really wear out albums or cassette tapes anymore. It's like, oh, I wore out the play button on my iPhone. You can't literally wear out music anymore like you could snap the tape on a cassette tape. Anyway, we're so old. My favorite solo artist was kind of a toss-up because I'm properly obsessed with Dua Lipa and Kim Petras, as so many people know. But I wanted to take this opportunity, use my platform to showcase an artist who's maybe less known, and her name is Sigrid. Sigrid is a 26-year-old Norwegian singer and songwriter who first caught my attention when I was sitting in an airport and I saw her music video on a TV in the distance. And I couldn't even hear the audio or the song, but I was so intrigued by her and her energy and this quirky little dance she was doing. And I was like, who is that? And so I got up and I walked up to the TV to wait for the music video to end so her credit would come up, because that was that's how you found out who sang things back in the day, by the credits on music videos. And the song was called High Five, and I played it on repeat until I literally couldn't stand it anymore. But she has a full catalog of dance-worthy songs, including Stranger, Sucker Punch, Don't Feel Like Crying, and Burning Bridges. And one of my personal favorites is a song she did with the singer Griff called Head on Fire. It's absolute fire. And Sigrid released her second full-length album called How to Let Go back in May. It's another no-skipper. And I'm seeing her perform live for the first time 3 days from now in Philly, and I'm so excited. Lastly, it's nearly impossible to pick a perfect movie soundtrack, but I have done it. I've done it, folks. And it is the soundtrack for a film entitled A Goofy Movie. And let me tell you, this is an example of the real ones knowing, because if you're a real one, you know about A Goofy Movie. I wouldn't say Goofy Movie is regarded as one of the best-known Disney animated movies of all time. I think it didn't even perform very well when it came out for whatever reason, but it definitely has a cult following, and it's one of my all-time favorites. It's a 1995 movie. It follows Goofy as he attempts to bond with his son Max during a cross-country road trip to Lake Destiny, Idaho. Max has other plans, however, as he reroutes their trip so he can see his favorite musician, Powerline, in concert in California. The soundtrack is awesome. It's full of great, heartfelt Disney songs like On the Open Road, Lester's Possum Park, and Nobody Else But You. But the true standouts are the songs performed by R&B singer Tevin Campbell, who plays Powerline. The tracks Stand Out and Eye to Eye are not only great Disney movie songs, but they could stand up to any pop song of the 1990s. They should be placed in a capsule and shot into space so aliens have an example of how perfect humanity can be. If you haven't seen A Goofy Movie, it's on Disney Plus, and you should go watch it and just love the music like I do.
Thoughts? I feel like this is the third time I've heard you talk about A Goofy Movie this week. And I have told you that I have not seen this movie. Maybe I will, but I do know about it from Cody Rigsby of Peloton fame, who is also obsessed with a Goofy movie and talks about it on several Peloton rides.
He's a real one. Quam, do you know this movie?
So I do know this movie, and I should have watched this movie, but I never sat down and fully actually watched this movie. Never as a kid, and I just like remember it like in passing. Like I would walk in a room and a Goofy movie be playing. I'm like, oh, it's time to leave. Time to get out of here. And so I don't really like know like the full. I never seen the movie in its entirety. I seen like clips and scenes. Like I remember when Goofy did something, and I think they were coming out of a river, and Max was mad, and he was like, "Dad, get away! You suck!" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Max, he's trying his hardest."
Wow, guys, I can't wait to watch this.
I'm like, he's doing his best, Max.
I mean,
break.
It's true. We have a coworker who said that her husband's family is so obsessed with it that they play Goofy movie songs at all of their family wedding receptions. I mean, people who love it know Eye to Eye and Stand Out are such good songs. Eye to Eye, man, I'll put that on my car, just interspersed with like regular artists. I'm like, there's Tevin Campbell, just killing it. There's people watching this right now are losing their minds that we're talking about Goofy movie because people are that enthusiastic about it.
Like, I identify with David.
Anyway,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what people have to say.
Check out some of our other controversial movie takes and random musical tastes and favorite songs and albums and artists and all that by saying Mixfinity tape into your voice remote. Next up, it's time to treat yourself in a segment called Xfinity Rewards. We are just days away from Xfinity Rewardathon, and our very own Audrey is going to tell you how you can reap the benefits as an Xfinity Rewards member. Audrey, tell us more.
Sure thing, David. So Rewardathon, as you can see, is September 29th and 30th. So that is 2 days of the biggest and best rewards of the whole year. So get excited. You will be able to enjoy things like Xfinity mobile smartphone rewards, movies to own on us, 30-day trials of premium networks with hit shows that you're dying to watch, Bravo rewards for all the Bravo-holics out there, and so much more. It's so easy to join, and to get ready for Rewardathon, just download the Xfinity app and sign up for rewards today. Say Xfinity Rewards into your voice remote for more details, and if you're already a member, just pop in there the 29th and start reaping those rewards. That's all I got. Yeah, it's very exciting stuff.
Learn more about it.
Learn more.
Xfinity Rewards. Hey, time to move on. Next up, grab your pumpkin-scented candles and 12-foot Home Depot skeleton for a celebration of Halloween in a segment called Impressed and Obsessed. Life comes at you fast, especially around the holiday season, so we thought we'd help you ease into spooky season with a few shows and movies that bridge the gap between Halloween, and Halloween. Audrey, if you're feeling your pumpkin spice fantasy and aren't quite ready for blood and guts, what would you recommend for people?
Ooh, may I interest you in Halloween Cookie Challenge from Food Network? David says yes. I know Gordon and David are big bakery challenge fans. All baked goods. You don't discriminate between cookies and cakes.
Cakes, cookies, pumpkins, candy, whatever.
All of it. Yeah. So as you can probably guess, we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just having some holiday fun, but crafty bakers compete, show off their cookie making skills and decorating decadent, show-stopping Halloween cookies creations. And then whoever is the best wins the title of Halloween Cookie Champion. Again, not rocket science, but spooky cookies, cute cookies, everything you want in a cookie. Like David said, if you're just like inching into the Halloween season, this is a great way to do it. Family friendly, everyone can watch together. And then when you're ready to turn it up a little bit, then you can jump on to Quam's pick, which is next.
Yeah, Quam, let's say you've started putting a couple pumpkins around your home. You've bought a couple bags of candy because you were at CVS to pick up toothpaste and you couldn't resist yourself, and you're starting to get into that Halloween spirit. What would you recommend?
There's only one movie that comes to mind. There's only one movie that could come to anyone's mind, and it is Hocus Pocus. And luckily, we have a sequel coming from Disney Plus. Let's roll a clip from this excellent film.
I banish thee from Salem forever.
They were right to fear thee. Magic has a way of uniting. Happy 16th birthday, child.
I have a gift for my favorite customers. Legend has it, it's on the 16th birthday that a witch gets her powers.
Lock up your children! Yes, Salem, we're back!
Yes, Salem, we are back. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Hocus Pocus was like a childhood staple of Halloween for me. That and Halloween Town. Like Disney was just killing it with like Halloween content when I was coming up. And they're making a sequel, Hocus Pocus 2, and the three witches from the original film are reprising their roles. And honestly, this made me want to go back and rewatch the original Hocus Pocus. And so I did, and I have some thoughts. I don't know. This is like typical for the 90s movies in general. But how was this approved for kids? Like the original Hocus Pocus was like so raunchy that today it's like, wow, would this ever gotten past the mouse? Would this even aired? And there's like so many boob jokes. There's like reference to drugs.
Boob jokes?
Jokes, guys. There's boob jokes in the Disney movie. Like the mouse was wilding back in 93. Like Mickey that lost his mind. There's like references like the drugs by kids, and I'm like, whoa. I'm just like, go back and rewatch the original Hocus Pocus, and you're like, boy, this. I don't remember it being like this. Maybe y'all do, because maybe y'all were a little bit older than me. But when I was watching Hocus Pocus,
here we go again.
I'm just saying.
The bus driver tells her to like come sit on his lap at one point. I think tells like Sarah Jessica Parker's character, like the bus driver is like really super horny and weird.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, and this is a kids movie. I'm like, whoa, okay. This is why us 90s babies are the way that we are, because Disney just corrupted us all. But Hocus Pocus 2 seems like a lot of fun. It seems like it has a lot of the same energy, maybe not the same level of raunchiness back in the 90s, because we live in a completely different era, for better or worse. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe not. But it seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm super excited for it. It's gonna be a perfect segue into Halloween to get me in the spooky vibes, So that is my pick for my Halloween prepper. David, how about you?
Mm. So yeah, the Hocus Pocus 1 was in its teenage dirtbag phase. And now you are fully invested in the horrors and terrors of Halloween season. You have the color-changing bath mat that makes it look like someone tracked bloody footprints through your powder room, and your neighbors have called the cops because the corpses on your front lawn look too real. It's the perfect time for AMC's Interview with the Vampire. Let's take a look at a clip.
I was not yet ready to hunt, but desperate to feed.
It's best to let the food come to you.
You're not welcome in this home.
This is how it has to be.
I don't want to kill people.
You're a vampire.
I could not save myself, but I could save her.
She'll be what? A daughter.
We're a family.
She is poisoning you against me.
You two have each other. Who am I supposed to love?
This is not a life! You took my life!
We'll be together 10,000 nights, 100,000.
Ready to begin the adventure of our lives. My companions in immortality.
not gonna lie, every single time I see that trailer, I'm like, wow, that actually looks really good. And then I say, it's Grey Worm, which is exactly what Quam said when we watched this earlier. Grey Worm from Game of Thrones.
And he speaks.
And he actually says something. Based on Anne Rice's iconic 1976 novel of the same name, Interview with a Vampire, of course, stars Game of Thrones alum Jacob Anderson as a vampire looking back at his life in turn-of-century New Orleans. The series also stars Sam Reed, Bailey Bass, and Eric Bogosian as the reporter who is conducting the interview with the vampire in a present-day setting. The new series premieres on AMC this Sunday, October 2nd, but AMC Plus subscribers can watch the season or series premiere 3 days early on Thursday, September 29th, and they'll also get access to future episodes a full week early. And if that doesn't get you into the Halloween spirit, you may already be dead. Wow,
that was
check out all those titles that we just talked about by saying what to watch into your voice remote. Next up, it's time to hold down the power and volume buttons at the same time for a reboot in this installment of Hangouts and Extras. Hulu recently debuted a brand new comedy series called Reboot, which follows the stars of an early 2000s sitcom as they reunite to reboot the show. And our very own Audrey sat down with the cast for an all-new episode of Xfinity Hangouts. Audrey, what can you tell us about this?
So first of all, the show itself is very funny. It was created by Steve Levitan, who, if you're familiar with Modern Family, it has a very Modern Family vibe, which I think you'll pick up on the trailer, except with like a ton of curse words. So if you're into that like dialed up Modern Family thing, it might be for you. The cast is amazing. Rachel Bloom of My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Michael Keegan-Key, Johnny Knoxville, Judy Greer, Paul Reiser. It's really funny. It's kind of like a take, like David said, looking at rebooting a show, but the inner workings of it. So getting this cast of a show back together and seeing how dysfunctional they really are while they're trying to be actors. So it's really funny. So let's watch the clip and then we'll see a bit of my conversation and then we can chat about it.
We're definitely on the lookout for breakthrough shows. So, what do you got?
I want to reboot the old sitcom Step Right Up.
Step right up.
Step right. Are you serious?
And I want to do it with the original cast.
According to Wikipedia, Clay Barber, drug charge and disorderly conduct, Bray Jensen did a low-budget sci-fi cable show.
Captain, I'll repair them as soon as I nourish my larva.
And Reed Sterling left to pursue a film career.
I'm the ruthless mother standing here with a 38 snub nose. You know what? I was thinking, what if I infused it with a layer of weariness and vulnerability?
Maybe don't think.
It's just not what they taught us at the Yale School of Drama.
Okay, we're done.
Judy, your Instagram blurb has a few interesting things. Knitter, psychic, vegan, collector of jars, brass animals, and alcoholic friends.
Yes,
so I want
that's all accurate.
Is it psychic or psycho?
Ooh. Burn.
When we get out of this Zoom room, Johnny Knoxville.
But the jars, like how many jars have you collected and what do you put in said jars?
I don't put anything in the jars. I just have so many. I have a really hard time getting rid of things. And so like salsa jars, jam jar, like any jars that come, like that I buy food in. So I clean them. And then in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is great. I can give someone a gift in this jar or something. And we just end up having a lot of jars. And then like every couple months I have to sort of like do like a jar clean out, like jam jars. Like, don't you save that stuff?
Yeah.
Shut up. Oh my God.
Oh, I love this peek into Judy's mind.
I have an idea that we can reuse these glass jars. There's so much waste in the world.
It's very admirable. I was
Thanks.
envisioning you going to like Parisian flea markets and buying like vintage jar bottles from like 1902.
This is like paste salsa jars and shit like that or stuff. Sorry. It's nothing exciting. Although I do have some really nice blue tinted mason jars, but those were a gift. And you can get them at Target.
I love them. So obviously, like they have a lot of fun together on the show. You can tell, like Johnny Knoxville is just like he is on TV. And she was incredibly sweet. I also talked to Paul Reiser and Rachel Bloom as part of this hangout. But they were just great to talk to and super duper fun. Like I said, the show itself is also very fun. So I'm curious to see how everyone likes it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
she 100%. Oh, go ahead, Guam.
Are you sure? You were like mid-sentence at that point.
Yeah.
I feel like
Get it.
I was just gonna say I can understand her love of jars and keeping jars. I am a jar hoarder myself, and so as a jar hoarder, looking at another jar hoarder, I can totally understand where she's coming from. It's like I have a jar that's not being used, and I should keep it because why not? I might use it one day. So I get that. I understand. I empathize. If she's watching this, I understand.
Celebrities. They're just
I
like
have
us.
a bunch of small like jelly jars that I use as water glasses. I went down to my kitchen and I replaced my office mug for today with this tiny actual jar that's in my cabinet. I have a bunch of these. And I get it. And I also love that I think Judy's like become kind of famous, at least earlier in her career, for playing like the best friend in so many different movies. And I get it. Like even in that clip, I'm like, yeah, Judy's like your best friend. Like, and she even has like best friend hobbies.
Yeah, she's so likable. Like as soon as you speak to her, you're like, wow, like I want to keep talking to you. You're so like warm and I don't know, just like interesting and normal and quirky and fun. She was just, both of them were a lot of fun.
I can't believe.
This time, David, you got it.
Just real quick. I got it.
What?
I can't believe that Johnny Knoxville is still doing it. Like from the way he started, from like the kind of work he was doing in the beginning, to now like still having a pretty solid acting career. Like he's very likable, and I always like him in the projects that he does. But like, good on him. Like he was getting kicked in the balls for a living for like 10 years, and now he's still getting work. I love it, and good work too, not like reality TV work.
Yes, you're right. And we did talk about, we both go to the chiropractor, and he has lots of chiropractic issues from his early career, and he has to work out like all the time to keep his body. I feel like he said to keep his body from literally falling apart, he has to exercise every day. But yeah, what a babe, that Johnny Knoxville. Good for him.
Kwame, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna comment on the show. I love when TV and movies get like really meta, and so like a show about rebooting a show, this is like super meta, and that's like something that sounds like right up my alley. But yes, Johnny Knoxville still going at it. I don't know if I was him as successful as he's been, I would just like I'm gonna call it a day, bro. I'm just trying to relax and lick my wounds from a career of doing stunts. So more power to him.
It is interesting. I mean, it's a perfect time for something like this because we have seen so many reboots in the last few years, and especially with shows where the cast like notoriously didn't get along, like the short-lived 90210 reboot, or what was it, Laguna? Was it Laguna Beach? They had a reboot, didn't they? Or what was the one with like who was LC and
The Hills.
The Hills, that's the one I'm thinking of. The Hills reboot.
Yeah.
And I mean, even like stuff like Saved by the Bell, I mean, they all like dated each other. So there's a lot of baggage there. So I'm excited to catch up on this one, and I'm sure Steve Levitan has some like true insight into what it's like to
work on this.
Behind the scenes.
And the last thing I'll say is you saw in the trailer the like the promo for the show that they're making a reboot of, Step Right Up. Like it is quintessential like TGIF. Basically, it's step by step, like, and the song, like the theme music that they make for this like 90s sitcom is so identical to every 90s sitcom that was on TGIF, which, you know, really struck a chord with me as a child who watched all of those shows.
Child of the 90s, back in the day. Those
the
old
olden
shows.
days.
Well, you can check out nearly 100 episodes of Xfinity Hangouts. We're almost to 100 episodes, including Audrey's full interview with the cast of Reboot by saying Hangouts into your voice remote. And before we head out for the week, as always, we'll help you organize your TV watch list for the week in a segment called Plan Ahead. We are still in the thick of fall TV season, so this week we're once again focused solely on TV premieres, and Audrey is going to kick things off by telling us about the biggest debuts tonight through Wednesday.
Well, I may think My Dog is Amazing for looking cute on command. DC League of Super Pets takes the talents of man's best friend to a whole new level. Crypto the Super Dog and Superman are obviously besties, sharing the same superpowers and fighting crime together. But when Superman is kidnapped, it's up to his furry friend to save the day. DC League of Super Pets premieres Monday, September 26th on HBO Max. And speaking of superpowers, The Rookie Feds, a spin-off of fan favorite The Rookie, has one. Her name is Niecy Nash Betts, and as a guidance counselor turned FBI agent, she steals the show. I mean, how could Niecy Nash not make a police procedural exponentially better? The Rookie Feds premieres Tuesday, September 27th on ABC. Lace up those skates and hit the ice for Season 2 of The Mighty Ducks Game Changers. The new season sees everyone's lovable childhood hockey misfits road tripping to an intense summer hockey institute in California, run by who else but former NHL player played by Josh Duhamel. The Mighty Ducks Game Changers premieres Wednesday, September 28th on Disney+. And completely switching gears, Ana de Armas stars in Blonde, an adaptation of Marilyn Monroe's life, both private and public, and the price she paid to be a household name. This will be the first movie released on Netflix with an NC-17 rating as a result of its graphic nature, so you have been warned. Blonde premieres Wednesday, September 28th on Netflix. And from one blonde bombshell to several more. If the tumultuous second season of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City left you wanting more drama, Andy Cohen has heard your cries. While Mary and Jenny won't be returning, there will be plenty of shenanigans from Jen, Whitney, Heather, Lisa, Meredith, and new friends, Angie, and Dana. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City premieres Wednesday, September 28th on Bravo, and the next day on Peacock.
Audrey, what the hell happened to that girl's eye?
I mean, tune in, catch up on Peacock, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City before the new season premieres. I don't know. I'm assuming she like fell off a ski lift or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
The
It's not
drama.
one of my regulars. Yeah, drama for sure. Hopefully it was an accident.
Well, speaking of drama, there's so much more of it coming Thursday through Sunday. And Kwam is going to tell us about those exciting new TV shows and movies. Take it away, Kwam.
If the word relatable were to be a tangible entity, it would probably come in the form of Hulu's original series, Ramy. This comedy drama follows Ramy, an American Muslim in his late 20s who comes to the sobering realization he isn't leading the life he wishes to live. It's like that moment in most millennials' lives where they start to question what they're doing and their overall purpose while trying to navigate the intricacies of modern day adulthood. And boy, as a millennial, that definitely hits home. Ramy returns for its third season on September 30th on Hulu. Let the spookiness commence. Halloween is right around the corner, and Prime Video is getting into the spirit with their new original film, My Best Friend's Exorcism. Set in the late 80s, My Best Friend's Exorcism follows two best friends, Amy and Gretchen. After exploring what's essentially a haunted house, Gretchen is possessed by a demonic entity, and Amy, being the ride-or-die friend that she is, has to save her. I don't know about you, but personally, I wouldn't tolerate that level of disrespect. The cost of living is too high for someone or something to take up residency in my body without paying rent. My Best Friend's Exorcism premieres on Prime Video on September 30th. Saturday Night Live has to be the longest running television show of all time, right? Like, it has to be. The Late Night Live sketch comedy show is entering its 48th season. According to the show's creator, Lorne Michael, this season will feature at least 4 new cast members in what he says will be a transition year. Despite the departure of some longtime cast members, fans of the show can expect the return of other key members such as Kenan Thompson, Heidi Gardner, and Mikey Day. Saturday Night Live returns to NBC on October 1st. We are living in the final days, and by that, I mean the final days of the long-running zombie apocalypse series, The Walking Dead. To give some context on how long this show has been running, the first season premiered when I was a junior in high school. I'm now 28. With only 8 episodes remaining, the only question left is what can fans expect? The Walking Dead will begin its ascent into television heaven on October 2nd on AMC. Last but certainly not least, we head to the Big Apple for CBS's newest police drama, East New York. The series centers on the officers and detectives on the 74th Precinct in East New York, Brooklyn. Heading up the precinct is Deputy Inspector Regina Haywood, the newly promoted commanding officer. While Haywood is determined to change the culture in her precinct while also tackling crime, she faces resistance from seasoned veterans. East New York premieres on October 2nd on CBS.
And that will do it for today's show. Thank you to my fellow Xfinity editors Audrey and Quam for joining me this week. Special thanks to Reboot stars Judy Greer and Johnny Knoxville for dropping by. Shout out to our producers Brad, Aaron, and everyone else behind the scenes for making the show tick. If you want to check out the TV shows and movies we talked about today, get more of our entertainment recommendations, or watch us interview massive celebrities, just say what to watch into your voice remote, or tune in here every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern for a new episode. Or you can check us out across the country 24/7 on the Xfinity What to Watch channel on Zumo. My name is David. Thank you so much for joining us on What to Watch Live.